Morning, guys. Wait, is it still morning? I don't even know. I actually don't even know what day it is. It's Happy Friday. I don't know what day it is. My whole plan was, before all this rain started hitting us, which is amazing. Been waiting for this for weeks and weeks. Finally, we have rain in Florida. Here it is. Well, I was gonna take you out there. that big dude, he's my baby avocado tree. He's only 7 years old. And when we moved in here, the cool dudes we got the house from said, oh, he's 5 years old. He's been here 2 years. Hasn't fruited, hasn't done shit. Cut him down if you want. I said, you know what? I'm going to start yelling at it, cutting branches off to make tea out of the leaves, and do what I'm about to tell you guys about today. And guess what? Somehow that tree knew the shit was no fan. And he was covered in flowers. So I think we're going to get an ass load of avocados this year. Would be cool. It's a big, big, big tree. But I actually wanted to sit out there and film this for you guys today, but it's not gonna happen. So, sit back down at the table again, shall we? And I am dry now, and yeah, I got my crappy Western hat on, because I can tie that in with now. My crackhead Jack Russell was out digging in the mud when it was pouring rain. He was all happy. And I got soaking wet because I was bailing out buckets of rainwater. Transferred to their tub because we haven't had rain in a while. So, shoot. Which is unusual for Florida because we always have rain this time of year. That's a whole nother conspiracy theory. Did I just say that? No. Alright. So, today's subject, since we're still on the shit hits the fan gardening subject, shit hits the fan garbage? Smell yeah, baby. Got my examples here. It's nasty too. Liquid in there. Got a little container to show you the size. Small or large, you can smell up your garden and make it happy. So, the reason why I wanted to start over by the avocado tree is because when we first moved in here, I thought it was so cool. And I was like, I had my own avocado tree, yay! No fruit. Which is actually kind of typical for those things when people do the regular toothpick thing and then they want to stick it in the dirt and I got an avocado tree and maybe we'll get avocados. No, usually it doesn't work. You should get good ones or grafted ones, whatever. Anyhow, what I started doing is the subject of today because you should be saving all your garbage. Well, that's leftover food scraps anyway. I grew up in a family, and especially my mom, this woman threw nothing out. They're older, they grew up in the war, they were from overseas, and this woman literally saved everything. So, and she grew most of our food. And it was really cool, because, I would see her, like, for instance, you're doing broccoli and all that stuff, and you're cutting stems and doing your perfect little, oh crap, my table is dirty. You're doing your perfect little broccoli edges, and then you gotta throw the stems away, and never happened in our house. So she would save all this stuff, and it usually ended up out in the compost pile, but she actually did a lot more of what I do now, which is compost and ground. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because for you guys that don't have a lot of land, small thing, because we live in a little typical, suburban, the Truman Story neighborhood. Then that would be the ideal way for you guys to do it. Because not everybody has the space, the time, or the know-how to build your big fat, wooden fence with your compost bracket and all that, and throw stuff on there. And again, like I've said before, don't overthink it. There's people that I see on YouTube and all that. You gotta put that much percentage nitrogen to this, that, and the other thing, and you gotta do that percentage of greens, the browns. Fuck it. Nature doesn't really think about it. I wish I could go over there to my tree like I wanted a video before. There's, foot deep of brown leaves that the avocado tree's been shedding for a long time. The avocado tree didn't say, wait a minute, mathematically, the lemon, the banana, and the red button ginger, which is really cool, I have it growing under it, I've calculated that it needs this much mulch underneath. No, not the way nature works. Nature drops shit. It decomposes, it composts itself with worms and bugs and all that crap. Then you got good dirt, then you grow good shit. No good soil, no good food for you. So, if you have a little bit of a good property, you need to put it to work for you. And that's what I was doing, from the day that we moved in here. It was 2 years ago. And like I've said, I think previously in one of my other snippets, that when we moved in here, the people told me, we never pesticided or fertilized the property. I was like, oh, game on. This is like heaven for me. Perfect property. A good starting point, let's put it that way. Because you still have to work hard. It doesn't really come out of nothing. You have to, sweat a little bit and do all that to grow your own food. But you can actually do it on the cheap, if you recycle stuff. And that's my point today. Recycle your garbage. How many of you fill up your garbage bags at least once a day, or shit, by the end of the day you got your second one going? No need for that. So you're sitting on a chopping board, you're making a good breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. You got the eggshells, you got the coffee grind, you got, the broccoli stems at dinner, and the carrot ends, and it goes on and on and on and on. This stuff should not be going in the garbage. I was just about to say S, right? Shit! That shit should not be going in the garbage. It should be going out in your dirt. No holds barred. The only thing is, no fat, greasy oils and meat. Shouldn't be doing that. I mean, if you have big enough of a property, you can literally compost everything. My mom did. David the Good is actually a good guy with that. He's got I think it's called Compost Everything book or whatever. The guy's great. And before he fell off the planet and went to where he's at now, and he still makes videos, you gotta look him up. He's hilarious. Great musician. And but anyway, he was in North Florida. Guy knows his shit. Gardening on the cheap. Work with what you got. He's great at it. You gotta go there and you gotta watch him. He's funny. So anyway, what I'm saying is save everything, because nowadays, you're sitting in your house with all your kids and all that, and you're chopping up your vegetables and all this crack, and you're cracking eggs. Crack. Same crap. Crack? Right. Cracking your eggs in the morning and all that stuff, throw them in a bowl. Rinse them, sterilize them, crush them. Good calcium for the garden. What I do, though, is I actually put them in a high-speed blender with a little water after I've cleaned them thoroughly. And I water the plants in. But I don't have that many eggshells because I actually don't eat that many eggs, and we don't have that many in the house. So, that's that. Basically, all the crap that you used to throw in your garbage bin is fuel for your dirt. And if you don't fuel your dirt and turn it into soil, you won't fuel your garden, and your garden will not feed you. It's bottom line. A lot of people are going to find that out the hard way. Not immediately, but in a few years. Because it takes a long time to build up good dirt and good plants. Good plants come from good dirt, right? Alright, so my whole point is, I got a ton of notes on this, but I won't refer to it. Hang on, gotta grab my cup. I left it over here. Okay. Left my tea on the little bar ledge by the kitchen counter. So, my thing is, because like I said before, we have a small property. I mean, I can, actually on the small property, I can grow a lot of and I do. A front yard, backyard, because of SB 82, I legally have the right now, ooh, thank you powers that be, that I can grow fruit and veg in my front yard. Which, by the way, I've been doing that anyway, before they even passed that. It was just incognito vegetables. Dummies. So anyway, you have a small, if you live in a small area like we do, like typical neighborhoods, you know, and all that, and you're like, I know compost is good, and I see all these videos, and it's complicated and all that shit. No, it's not complicated. You get yourself small containers. These are my coffee grinds. You see there's kind of liquidated. I think these have been in here for like, I don't know, 4 days or something. 4 or 5 days. Something like that. Coffee filters and all. Yeah. It's like a cereal box. Alright. Compost in the ground. I've been doing it for years down here in Florida. My mom had a compost pile, but we had horses. And so the horse shit and all that stuff, she would pile it up, and then leaves, because we live in the woods in New Jersey. And then the green stuff and the food scraps and blah blah, and she did all that crap. And I did do that too. But since we moved in here 2 years ago, I haven't had time to really set it up. And a lot of you don't either. You know, if you have a big fat property, well, you probably know about this, then yeah, set up a compost pile. Is the best thing you can possibly do. It's amazing. But you can accomplish the same thing in a small area, sporadically all over the property, by composting in the ground. So what I do is, I take containers actually like this. They're on my counter, but these are airtight, you see? It's got a little lid on top. It's like those cereal box things, right? So at night, if I'm like cutting the ends of carrots or whatever else, and then I can just flip it up, I toss it in there, and then I shut the lid. That way the bugs, the fruit flies don't collect or whatever have you. We have a lot of bugs in Florida. And it sits on my counter, but not more than just a couple days. Because it fills up quick, and then you dump it out and put it in the ground, and then I'll tell you that. So you walk around to search, Jake, what are you doing? Stop chasing lizards. So I go out with my little shovel, and I dig holes, like I did around the avocado tree from day one. And I dump all the crap from my container, I put it in there, and I cover it up. And it works out great, because then you have no rodent problems, and you're still composting in the ground. So it's actually pretty cool, right? And the coffee grinds, like in this bin, I saved them. That's coming up in part 2. Be right back.